The 1980s were an unparalleled era for music, filled with iconic bands that defined a generation and continue to influence artists today. Picture this: teased hair, leather jackets, and neon lights setting the stage for some of the most unforgettable concerts. From stadium anthems that had us singing at the top of our lungs to heartfelt ballads that played at every school dance, these bands created the soundtrack of our lives. Their electrifying performances and groundbreaking music videos were more than just entertainment. They were cultural moments that shaped a decade. But do you really know their stories? What made these bands so special? Get ready for a trip down memory lane as we rewind to the 1980s and rediscover the iconic bands that took over the music world in the greatest era in rock history. Number 1. Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi, hailing from the heart of New Jersey, skyrocketed to arena rock success shortly after its formation in 1983. With John Bon Jovi, David Bryan, Tico Torres, Phil X, and Hugh McDonald at the helm, the band quickly made waves. Their initial albums in 1984 and 1985 set the stage, but it was their third album, Slippery When Wet, that catapulted them into the stratosphere of rock superstardom. Slippery When Wet wasn't just a hit, it was a phenomenon, selling over 40 million copies worldwide and belting out iconic #1 singles like Livin' on a Prayer and You Give Love a Bad Name. These tracks didn't just climb the charts, they became the anthem of the 80s, capturing the spirit of an era with their catchy hooks and unforgettable choruses. The band's success wasn't confined to the 80s. In 2000, Bon Jovi reclaimed the spotlight with their album, Crush, introducing a new generation to their sound with the hit It's My Life, which snagged them 2 Grammy nominations. Outside the music arena, John Bon Jovi's also carved out a notable acting career. Remember when John played that charming doctor on Ally McBeal? Number 2. Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses, the quintessential rebels of the 1980s rock scene, didn't just play music. They embodied the wild, unapologetic spirit of rock and roll. Formed in the gritty heart of Los Angeles in 1985, the band, led by the enigmatic Axl Rose, quickly became notorious for their raw energy and Axl's unique vocal style, which captivated audiences and caught the attention of Geffen Records within a year. Their 1987 debut album, Appetite for Destruction, became a cultural milestone, defining the sound of late 80s rock with explosive hits like Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City, and Welcome to the Jungle. The rawness and intensity of their music made them a staple of rock radio and MTV. Chinese Democracy, an album mired in production for nearly 15 years, became almost as famous for its backstory as its music, racking up over $13 million in production costs. When it finally dropped in 2008, it was met with mixed reactions, but it confirmed Guns N' Roses' legendary status by sheer persistence and ambition. Today, with most of the original lineup reunited, Guns N' Roses continues to captivate fans old and new, proving that their music transcends time. They're not just a band, they're a phenomenon that echoes the unabashed excess and gritty glamour of the 80s. Whether blasting from a boombox or streamed on modern devices, their music remains a wild ride without a seatbelt, a relentless force in the ever-evolving landscape of rock music. Number 3. MötleyCrüe. MötleyCrüe, iconic in 1980s rock, burst onto the Los Angeles metal scene in 1981 and quickly became known as the world's most notorious rock band. The band, made up of Nikki Sixx, Tommy Lee, Mick Mars, and Vince Neil, became famous not only for their intense music, but also for their wild behavior both on and off stage. Their debut album in 1981, Too Fast for Love, and their 1983 follow-up, Shout at the Devil, catapulted them to fame. These albums, with their heavy sound and bold imagery, won over fans and secured their rock legacy. Their music videos, filled with live action and dramatic stories, were constantly played on MTV, making them household names. However, the band also faced a lot of internal conflict and personal struggles, including addiction and high-profile scandals, like Tommy Lee's marriage to Pamela Anderson. Despite these challenges, including tragic personal losses, the band's strong bond led to a successful reunion in 2018. Today, MötleyCrüe's ongoing performances remind us why the 80s were such a vibrant era for rock music, showcasing their enduring appeal and the timeless nature of their music. Number 4. Metallica. Metallica was already well known before Stranger Things reintroduced them to the culture consciousness. Formed in Los Angeles in 1981, Metallica revolutionized rock and roll with a unique sound. Many consider the band to be heavy metal pioneers, emphasizing powerful guitar riffs, meaty percussion, and singer, rhythm guitarist James Hetfield's gravelly voice. Metallica's third album, Master of Puppets, released in 1986, is notable for being the band's most critically lauded record. Lars Ulrich, Metallica's drummer, and Dave Mustaine, the band's original lead guitarist, who eventually founded Megadeth, had a difficult relationship. Mustaine was fired from Metallica in 1983, owing to substance abuse problems and disagreements with other band members, which resulted in long-standing hostility between them. They followed up with And Justice for All, released in 1988, which earned the band its first Grammy nomination. The band continues to tour and make albums, with another chart-topping album, 72 Seasons, released in April 2023. What was your favorite Metallica guitar riff? Let us know in the comments below. Number 5. ZZ Top. While Billy Gibbons, Frank Beard, and Dusty Hill formed ZZ Top in 1969, their very unique style propelled them to stardom throughout the decade of excess. With long beards, sunglasses, and spinning guitars, ZZ Top created an image that was perfect for the MTV generation. With 3 albums published in the 1980s, El Loco, Eliminator, and Afterburner, the band reached gold with multiple singles. MTV's regular rotation of Legs, Sharp Dressed Man, and Gimme All Your Lovin' helped make their Afterburner tour one of the most successful of the decade. Unfortunately, Hill's death in 2021 created a vacuum in the band. Still, ZZ Top released the live album Raw in 2022. Number 6. Journey. Journey, another arena rock band that achieved immense success in the 1980s, owed much to lead singer Steve Perry's vocals. The band formed in San Francisco in 1973 and recorded 7 albums with varied degrees of minor success until 1981's Escape. Escape was the band's most successful album at the time, thanks to Don't Stop Believin', Open Arms, and Who's Crying Now. Don't Stop Believin' remains one of the most successful rock ballads of all time, with the first lyrics alone preparing any bar client to start crooning to the rest of the song. In 2022, the band released its 16th album, Freedom. A year later, they went on tour to honor their 50th anniversary. Number 7. Foreigner. Foreigner, the epitome of arena rock, follows next. With enough hard rock and ballads in their repertoire, the band might make a livelihood on the nostalgia circuit for decades. Foreigner was created in New York City in 1976 with Mick Jones, Ian MacDonald, and Lou Gramm leading the way. Their first self-titled album, released in 1977, was an instant success. They'd recorded 3 albums by the time 1981's 4 was released, resulting in hit songs such as Urgent, Waiting for a Girl Like You, and Jukebox Hero. However, their most successful album, I Wanna Know What Love Is, was released in 1984. The song was a huge success, topping the charts in the United States, Canada, and Australia. Foreigner is still going strong after 47 years, with planned tours for fans to look forward to. Number 8. Van Halen. Despite being created in the early 1970s, Van Halen had established itself as a successful band by the 1980s. With their bad boy persona, they were noted for energetic live performances thanks to lead singer David Lee Roth. The band's 1984 album, aptly named 1984, produced their lone #1 single, Jump, as well as 3 additional singles. The album sold 10 million copies and solidified the band's success. Unfortunately, inner turmoil caused the band to separate ways with Roth, who began a solo career. Sammy Hagar took over as bandleader in 1985, and his version of the band issued 2 more albums before 1990. Number 9. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Next, we have Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, who formed in 1976 with singer-songwriter-guitarist Tom Petty at the helm. With sounds inspired by Bob Dylan, Petty's band reached musical heights with 4 albums released in the 1980s. With singles like You Got Lucky, Change of Heart, and Don't Come Around Here No More, Petty and the band gained more notoriety than ever before and were even invited to play with Dylan in 1986. Petty scored multiple hits on his solo albums and extended his career into the 1990s. However, Petty died in 2017, leaving the band without a leader and no hope of reforming. Number 10. The Bangles. We can't have this list without some feminine power. The Bangles were founded in Los Angeles in 1981. It's amazing how many of these bands emerged from the City of Angels, with 4 women leading the group. The Bangles quickly gained popularity in California due to their roster and musical styles. The band had success in 1984 with Manic Monday, which was penned by Prince. That success carried over to their next song, Walk Like an Egyptian, which capitalized on the 1980s ancient Egypt mania when King Tutankhamun's tomb was on tour. However, Eternal Flame, the band's most successful single, was not published until 1988. The band broke up in 1989, but reformed in 1998. Well, which band do you wish you could see live today? Is it the high-energy performance of Bon Jovi, the rebellious spirit of GunsNRoses, or maybe the unforgettable guitar riffs of Metallica? Share your favorite memories and bands in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more nostalgic content. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on our latest videos. Until next time, keep rockin' and keep those 80s memories alive.